Thank you for staying with us for the AM News. Our first story takes us on the political front, where a former deputy national women's organizer of the National Democratic Congress, Mame Mfantseman, will be battling it out with 6 male aspirants in the Mfantseman constituency. The contest is expected to be fierce, with the aspirants crisscrossing the constituency in a last-minute push to woo the delegates. But the only female contender in the race believes her resourcefulness and experience in the political space should produce the needed magic. Richard Kwejonako has more in this report.
The Mfantseman constituency is a swing one. Whoever wins the seat more often has his or her party forming the government. 7 aspirants are all gearing up to get the nod from the delegates of the party in the upcoming primaries.
I want to invest in the delegates. I want the delegates to feel the impact of a good government. So what we are going to do is that we are going to have a delegate fund. First of all, I am going to make sure that I unify Mfantseman. We have too many fragmentations here. We have too many camps, too many divisions. There's no unity here. Being a woman, being a mother, that is what I want to do. I want to bring Mfantseman together. I want Mfantseman to be unified. And once we start from there, everything else is possible.
Mame Mfantseman, the only female contender, says she has all it takes to pip the men in the contest.
Well, first of all, I want delegates to understand that when we come to them and talk to them, they are matured politicians and they should know who speaks the truth. They should also go for experience, because half the time people come and they are finding their feet, you know. But here I am. I have gone through that already. I'm not finding my feet. I understand where I am. I understand what I'm bringing them, and I know how to get it for them.
Apart from her, there are 3 others who are speculated to be the front runners in the contest.
They know what I've been doing to support the party from 2012 till now. So when I entered there, I was the last person, and they started giving testimonies of what I have been doing to support the party. And they were mentioning, you did this, you did this, you did this. I was just nodding and looking at them, and I said, yes, this is Andy Kofi.
Alfred Andy Kofi believes his works in the constituency should give him an edge over his competitors.
We've heard of your name, we've seen your good works, that is why you become an MP. And this is what came from the panel. You know, in everything, amongst the equals, there's always the best. So even if you were 1,000, don't forget that in the Bible, Jesse has 7 sons. David was the last one, and he was the promised son who became a king on a foreign land. So if you are 7, yes, it also means that NDC, we have the men. We have equal people that can equally do the work better. So yes, we are 7. I believe that God will choose one, and that is Andy Kofi. When Andy Kofi wins, the 6 will come to join me to help NDC, Mfantseman, Central Region, and Ghana to go forward.
Political watchers believe that Mame Mfantseman, who's been a national executive before, Alfred Andy Kofi, Dr. Ebenezer Prince Ahen, Kobina Samano are the favorites in the context. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejonako, Mfantseman constituency.
Well, on our next story, research is crucial for policy formulation and implementation. However, researchers from low and middle income countries like Ghana are faced with the challenge of having to purchase many of these research works, which in most cases they are not able to. A not-for-profit organization is changing this narrative by making these research works available to these countries.
KNUSC, University of Ghana and all that, they all subscribe to very good databases like the Elsevier products, like the Science Array, the Scopus, the Emerald, the Wiley, and all those databases. But still, sometimes you get access to some articles that are very useful. Here's the case, you can't get access to the full text. And when you use Research for Life, it helps you to complement with your resources that you have. Where an article that you're supposed to pay so much, you go to Research for Life platform, and here is the case, you have it for free. Research for Life has been in existence for many years, but when you do monitoring and evaluation, you can see that still people are not using the resources. Why? Is because many researchers, students are not aware of the platform. So even you are getting to a point where Research for Life is going to team up or teaming up with journals within various organizations, institutions, to even publish with them and help them publish, go online and publish, do online publishing, which all in the end helps with the visibility and increase awareness of the papers that or the research that we conduct in most especially Ghana and Africa, so that the papers that are supposed to be visible and it should be openly available out there can really be seen out there instead of being on paper. So basically, Research for Life is a very good platform that I will encourage users, students, researchers, academics, faculty members to use. And more especially, if you are a librarian, try as much as possible and register your institution. So what you can do is that you can go online, researchforlife.org, and go there and register your institution. And you should be able to have access to it. And mainly it's IP sensitive. So once you register your institution, your IP, the institution's IP will be picked by Research for Life, and then your users within your institution will be able to have access to it.
The World Food Programme is collaborating with the Ghana Food and Drugs Authority to promote food safety in Ghana. Speaking at a retreat on Monday, Chief of Food Safety and Quality at the World Food Programme, Virginia Sabrenro, revealed that food safety needs to be guaranteed locally in order to be able to export it on the international market. Jacqueline Ansumayabwa reports.
Food safety has been an issue of national concern, and the World Food Operations in Africa is increasing with several operations in different regions across the continent. Given the increased engagement with food procurement from the African producers, the World Food Programme is developing strong partnerships with national and regional regulatory and technical bodies, as well as other United Nations agencies, to keep abreast of the updated regulatory frameworks and food standards and properly address emerging food safety risks through effective joint mitigation measures and contingency planning. Chief of Food Safety and Quality at the World Food Programme, Virginia Sabrenro, revealed that the World Food Programme is focused on finding out basic food risks and enhancing the food safety systems in African countries.
I think what we are experiencing now is an unprecedented crisis level around the world. And that has really put a lot of strength on food safety and providing safe food for the World Food Programme. So what we've been doing lately is really focusing on the emerging risks, enhancing our basic food safety systems. And we are focusing this year in the African continent, making sure that we see the synergies, making sure that we know our partners in the region, and ensuring that food is safe for everyone.
She additionally commended Ghana for having already put in place measures to ensure food safety, which serve as a model for other countries.
Food safety can be improved everywhere, and it's constantly changing. You know, the risks and the emerging risks are different depending where we are, right? So we need to adapt to what we are seeing locally in different locations. But definitely we're looking at a much more harmonized food safety system worldwide. And I can say that the practices in Ghana have been really impressive and served as benchmark for other locations as well, including some very interesting and innovative ways of doing things.
Deputy Chief Executive of Food and Drug Authority of the Food Division, Roderick Daddy Eje, revealed that they are strengthening their systems with the introduction of progressive license scheme to ensure the smooth registration of local businesses and manufacturers.
Sometimes people who are manufacturing products here think that the registration process is cumbersome and it's expensive. But there's a flagship program that the Food and Drugs Authority has been pushing, and we are happy to say that we have been able to register over, over 1,000 products that belong to what we call the progressive licensing scheme.
The retreat is expected to offer a chance to forge connections regarding food safety and quality, pinpoint potential for collaborative efforts, and construct strategic collaboration and technical approaches, taking into account the difficulties of the particular African setting. Jacqueline Ansuma Yebwe's report for Joy News.
On now to the Volta River Authority, which says it will this week test its preparedness in managing spill or overflow of the Akosombo and Kpong hydro dams. The VRA is partnering NADMO and other agencies to undertake the exercise this week. Prince Kwame Kudoga was at the briefing and filed this report. Read to you.
The simulation exercise, dubbed Exercise Daohoso, will be conducted in 3 districts likely to be affected: Isujaman in the eastern, Adan East in the Greater Accra, and Northern in the Volta region. It is slated for the 11th of May with key partners including the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Navy, Ambulance Service, the Armed Forces, with support from the United States Embassy in Ghana. Seji is the Deputy Director General of the National Disaster Management Organization.
This simulation exercise is a collaboration between the Volta River Authority and the National Disaster Management Organization. We are simulating a spillage of the Akosombo Dam up to the tune of 10,000 cubic meters. 10,000 cubic meters is a lot of water. It has implications on all the districts downstream. And we have 9 districts downstream the Akosombo Dam. These 9 districts will be affected if such a volume of water should be spilled. As an organization which is mandated by law to deal with disasters and similar emergencies, it is our responsibility to make sure we protect life and property in the unlikely event that this incident occurs, that Akosombo or the VRA decide to spill. So that is why we have the opening ceremony today. The activity itself is going to be on the 11th of May. So on the 11th of May, we are going to simulate a dam spillage, a water spillage from Akosombo Dam. That will affect some communities. Now the communities that will be affected will be communities in Northtown, communities in Adan East, and communities in Esujaman.
The Deputy Chief Executive Officer in charge of engineering and planning of the Volta River Authority, Edward Eko Obenkenzo, reiterated the importance of the exercise.
World Bank's Ghana Climate and Development Report 2022, flooding affects about 45,000 people yearly. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 13, recognizes climate change as a real and undeniable threat to our civilization. The effect of climate change will be a catastrophic threat to our civilization. Unless we act now to limit and adapt to it. One expected effect is the increased frequency and magnitude of floods, which the Akosombo and Kpong Dam are physically exposed to. Even though VRA has been excellent in maintaining and managing the 2 dams, and the events we are planning for are unlikely to happen, it is still necessary to prepare for the worst effects of climate change. Madam Chairperson, in the case of excessive spillage or the unlikely situation of a dam break, it is estimated that over 300,000 people will be potentially affected. The EPP is therefore designed to provide early warning of any potential disaster and manage the response to minimize the effect on life and properties in the communities downstream of the 2 dams.
The MCE for Northtown, Divine Osborne, says the Assembly is excited and making plans to move residents who are in harm's way to safety.
I think that we have started a process of educating our people, getting them involved in the impending exercise. So many of them are much aware. And so the Assembly itself, in collaboration with the VRA, have provided identified some safe havens where in case of any emergency, people will be moved to those places. And so we are quite also prepared as time goes on, people will have to move and resettle at other places. For instance, in Avime, they used to suffer from that, but they have moved far away from that place and have settled in a different place. So I think that with time, those other people will have to also move and settle at places when the dam, in case of any spillage, life and property will be saved.
Prince Kwame could guest report read to you.
Now, as part of efforts to bridge the gap in accessing quality education, EduSports, through its Ignite Girls program, is empowering young girls, particularly in rural schools, to help them climb the educational ladder. Founder of EduSports, Catherine Davidson, says having community volunteers acting as role models will build their hope for the future. Anas Abid has more.
Education is proven to improve health, gender relations, and overall economic health of a country. And investing in education is investing in many other important parts of a country's development. Though Ghana has made great strides in relation to educational accessibility, there are still large gaps between male and female educational achievements, and rural children continue to be the most affected. To help bridge the gap as well as encourage more girls climb the educational ladder, EduSports, through its Ignite Girls Club, seeks to empower girls with the needed skills and mindsets to aid them meet their educational goals. Elizabeth Achampoma Ejukum is the Education Programs Manager at EduSports.
We realized that there's this gap between girls and boys' education, and this was done by having a discussion with our volunteers, and based on what they share, the experiences they have in their communities. That is why we came up with the Ignite Girls Club. So this Girls Club is going to empower girls, help them to see the need or importance when it comes to education. And with the engagement we'll have with the parents, we know that the girls will be encouraged to go to school. They'll be able to voice their thoughts out. They will know that we don't have any stereotype that this is for boys, this is for girls. Through the club, they are going to have that confidence to be able to also match up so that the gap will be closed as identified as a problem in our society.
EduSports is a UK and Ghanaian registered NGO that aims at connecting, training and equipping a network of local volunteers named Catalysts to create transformative literacy and STEM through 50 education spaces scattered across underserved communities with a focus on female empowerment and environmental sustainability. Founder of EduSports, Catherine Davidson, says the new Ignite Girls program also aims at identifying community role models to help them explore their strengths.
So this is where the idea for EduSports came, and the whole concept of EduSports is that these spaces are completely owned and managed by community members as a whole. So in our huge volunteer network of over 250 local catalysts, we bring together community members, students and teachers. We believe it's really important that all those groups work together to solve the challenges they have in society and to build their hopes for the future.
Idrisu Farahana is one of many catalysts volunteering to champion this cause, and as a participant of the Commandant Conference, she promises to establish a group in her community and called on parents to be supportive of their girls' education.
Coming here, I've learned a lot, but I want to talk about the Ignite Girls. That's what I like the most, empowering the young females. So when I go back, I'll organize the Ignite group and I'll empower the girls there. I'll teach them everything they are supposed to know. I'm hoping parents will cooperate with me to enable the girls be empowered, because if parents help a lot, then the girls' education will be a success.
Bart James Donko is an assistant programs leader here in Akumadan. He is particularly happy about the EduCase program, which seeks to enable children build a strong foundation of literacy skills.
When you are building a house and you lay a good foundation, probably all the structure will be strong. And the keys are the early ones that we should give them good foundation. As we learned that we should have a literacy club to the early ones.
Traditional authorities, just like parents, are key stakeholders in Ghana's educational system. Nanam Kwa, A participant and the co-convener of Seshi Nkonya in the Western North region says he is committed to establishing a sport in his community to help empower the next generation.
I am
going to ensure that we establish such a society in my community to help the children understand the relevance of education, and I am sure this will help reduce teenage pregnancies amongst girls in the area. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Akumadai.
The news is done. You've been served. Up next, the news review. Do stay.